Well, hello. I'm Claire. This is Purple Poppy, and welcome to this new series we have of a Journal Monthly. Today is day 1, so you're obviously not missing out at all, other than the intro video that I did. Now, I have decided that for my cover, I would like this embossed folder with a blue colour. Surprise, surprise, blue. So, just in case anyone is not sure, what I did here was, I just used my embossing folder with some, oh no, this one's different, with some craft card. So I took the folder, I positioned this where I wanted it because I wanted the clock to be really prominent on the top corner there. I'm not so bothered on the back, so I'm just going to pop it in like so, pop it underneath, put my top layer on. Now normally you would have to, oh yeah, no, it's the other way round, sorry. This Sheena embossing folder works completely different to any of my other embossing folders. Normally you have to take the top layer back and then lay it on with both the shims, but this one likes one shim and all layers. So there you go, there's our embossed clock. So we can get rid of this for a moment. Might come back to it later, not sure. And then I glued it to another piece just to give me the extra strength. But the reason I embossed just the top and not all of it is because I wanted a flat back. Okay. So that was the first stage that I went through. I'm just going to glue this together. Now I did use my glue because I wanted to make sure that we had a really strong bond. I then spread it all around with my bone folder. So I just laid this on here, simples, make sure it matches up. If it doesn't, you can always trim it later. But then I turned it over, used my bone folder and just made sure that it was stuck in every direction. Okay, and when that glue dries, that will give you a really stiff one of these. And then to really highlight it, all I did was I took my archival cornflower blue, and let's use our dirty mat because I know I'm going to be cutting fabric on this mat later, and I don't therefore want ink all over it, do I? And I just rubbed it on like that, simples, turned it round and just kept going until I got the depth of colour that I wanted. And I know this looks much darker at the moment, but as it dries it will calm down, because this is definitely the ink that I used. We can see that there is a tiny edge here, so I'm just going to literally trim that up like so. Get rid of that. Okay, so now we've got a front and a back. You may choose to use the back that way round. Doesn't matter, whatever you want to do. Okay, so there's our cover. And then I've got this like envelope that I'm keeping everything that I might want to use in. Okay, and you'll see that I've got 2 of these. Now, I don't know if you've realised it yet, but with the die for this, which is this one here, when you run it through your die machine, it only cuts the one hole because this is a complete blank. But if you take it out and you turn it over and you run it through your die machine again, you'll get a hole in both sides. And that's how you can get a complete see-through one. Now, as you can tell probably from here, I'm going to run basically with flowers through mine. And if I just bend this over like so, take my bone folder. I mean, I'm sure you've realised this, but just in case there's anyone who hasn't, that's the easy way. I've seen lots of people trying to do it with scissors, but it's not necessary. This is the easy way. And then this is just serviette that I've waxed. Now obviously that shape there doesn't work, nor does that one. But if I turn it round this way, it's bizarre, I turn it round this way, then I can get, and you can see, look, let's put this behind it because it's really dark. You can all but see through it. It's like an old Victorian photo. So that was just normal napkin and I just waxed it. I've got a rose one here as well. So you may choose, you know. Now, if you don't want to see completely through it, that's beautiful, isn't it, that one? You can actually see through it. That's beautiful. I think we'll glue that one shut while I'm here. Then obviously you don't need to cut the back out. You can very simply, I'm just going to trim this up. You can very simply just, of course, because it's got wax in it, it's a little bit weird to cut. But it does cut. Then obviously you don't need to cut the back out. You can just put a photograph in. So I need to cut a little bit more off there, don't I? So a little bit more and quite a bit off the bottom there like that, I believe. And then just pop that in there and you have got, once you position it correctly, there you go. You've got a lovely Victorian type image. So I'm just gonna run this round there. I mean, you've seen this done a million times. There's nothing new here at all. Okay, I'm gonna pop this in and make sure that it covers the hole, and then just run a little bit of this on the other side where I know the paper is. Bring it over, fold it down. Oh, I haven't put it in the right place. Did you see that? Ah, excuse the sticky fingers. There we go. Now it's in the right place. And just press that down, turn it over, give it a good press. And I've actually still got a bit of a hole there, but I can cheat and decorate this up. So there we go, and there is a semi see-through one, and I'll just put a bit of decoration down that side there. That'll be fine. So that's our back and one of our slides. Now you're going to want to know, aren't you, how I'm intending to join all this up. So if you don't want two separate pieces for your front and back, you could easily take a larger piece and fold it in half. That is no issue at all. But I wanted to use a bit of fabric as a spine for mine. So I've got this piece of cotton bedding, or was bedding. It's plenty long enough. So I'm just gonna trim. Now obviously you don't need to do this. You can do your spine with anything you like. You can do it with paper, and oh, these scissors I like next to useless. You can do it with paper and then run some kind of tape over it, and that will work absolutely fine. Or you can use a large card and fold it. I'm choosing to use fabric. Okay, so we do need our lined mat now. So what I'm going to do is pull off the strings. Okay, like so. I'm going to lay this down on my mat to make sure it's straight, like so. I'm going to take my pieces and I'm going to go, this is 3 inches wide, or actually almost 3.5. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in 1 inch, and I'm going to turn this around, and I'm going to come in 1 inch there as well. And by doing that, I know, make sure that's straight, that would help, wouldn't it? By doing that, look, I've got a nice inch spine. So this is where we bring out the fabric glue. And I'm actually going to glue the card, even though it's fabric glue. And if I line it up on my mat, I can work out exactly the inch that I want to glue. Bring this down, spread this about. Okay. And I'm going to put that down as we just talked about. Nice and straight, because I'm doing it on my mat. Okay, and we're going to do the other one exactly the same. If I'm off camera, I'm sorry, but it really doesn't matter. All I'm doing is adding glue to this. You're not missing anything at all. Again, line this up. Let's move it along because it's not on exactly the inch mark. There you go. Line it up. Pop it down. Get it straight. That's not straight, is it? I can see it's not straight. So let's line it up with this line here. Still not straight. It's because the fabric's not straight, I think. There we go. Stick that on. Turn it over. You've now got a front and a back connection. You've got a spine, and you've got nice frayed fabric in your work already. I'm just going to lay it down and tear that off, and that's going to give me those rough strands that we love at the top as well. Okay, now obviously we don't want to be looking at this, so my intention for my internal cover is to use book pages, but to make it more interesting and more deliberate, I'm going to actually stamp on them. So, oh, I've already pulled my papers out. Now, book pages, what have I got? I've got these lovely old vintage book pages, and this one is actually about gardening, which is quite appropriate, bearing in mind that I wanted it to have a bit of a flower theme. So I'm going to pull off this bit that says gardening in September, because, and this one says the chrysanthemum competition. So I'm going to pull those 2 bits off because they're interesting to what I'm doing. I'm going to pull off here because I've got a picture of these beautiful apples. Cox's apples, in fact. Very old, traditional English type of apple. Don't like them myself, but there you go. Okay, so just pull up. Oh, not that. Goodness me. Pull up there. Like so. Just that little bit, gardening in September, that's the bit that I wanted. And then I want the chrysanthemum competition. Just because I want my mishmash of book pages. There's some shorthand here. I just want it to have purpose. I'm going to actually cut the shorthand bit off of there. I just want the words, and you can obviously use any book pages at all for this and go whichever way you choose to go. And now we want just blocks of word. It's a vintage book, so there's not going to be any nasty words in here, so I can just opt for any words that I choose. Any words, any area, because I know it's not going to have nastiness in it. So we've got 2 more sections there. We've got a nice big section here. So very sort of botanical, florally type theme I'm going to have running through this book. What else have we got? Because we do want book pages of different colours if we can. Just adds to the interest. This, as you can see, is old dictionary. And that's a car pulling up outside, you can probably hear. I don't think it'll bother Bo because I believe she's asleep upstairs. There's that one. So just a little bit of time tearing up your papers. Time spent in the planning stage is, time saved later. And obviously this is all just building the cover. That's all I'm doing at the moment. You may choose to use different papers for yours, or as you might want to use decorative card that's already pretty on both sides. But you know me, I like a bit of vintage grunge if I can. And I'm going to tear this just over, oh actually no, I'm going to tear it there like that. And I think we'll have another piece of that as well. So here's my cover papers. I think that'll be enough. We're about to find out. So make sure that I've got this up the way I want it. So this is my front and this is my back, and now I'm just going to use a glue stick because this is paper to paper, and I'm going to glue all the, oh, I should have my messy mat. Claire, behave yourself, get the messy mat. All the way to the edge. Okay, and I'm just going to start to lay down paper. So I'm going to lay that one. Oh, look at that, that actually meets the fabric. And then overlapping always looks better when it's overlapped. You don't want to keep the same line. It just looks weird in my opinion. Looks much better if you've staggered it. Okay, and then this music piece, I'm actually now coming over the fabric. So I'm sealing this fabric in my collage. So feel for the end of the card and stick your paper down. Okay, and then we've got another one coming. So this one, line it up with the edge of my card. This one, I'm going to go here. It's not going to be wide enough, so we will need another piece, but that's fine there. And then I'm looking for, no, we don't want that close. We could, right, now the thing here is, because they're all basically the same colours, you need to be a little bit careful, otherwise it looks a bit samey. Could do with another, if it's the same colour but it's a different type font, that often looks good. And then here on this corner, I'm going to put this picture that's got the apple on it. No, I'm going to put it there. So I'm going to glue this side down, lift that side up so that I can put this right on the edge, and then I can flap that over the top. I have ended up with a straight line there, but what we can do is we can just pull off a little bit of music paper and we can go across there, and then that, oh, is upside down, that is gonna break up that line there. Okay, I'm gonna find my scissors, turn it over, trim these off. Now there's nothing new here. You've made book page collages a million times, I'm sure, but I want to keep this first one particularly beginner friendly. It's where I want to go. Okay, so that's that one, and of course we've got another layer of glue and another layer of paper. Now we haven't done this bit yet, so we're just going to go up there with that piece. Oh, the only trouble is, put all of it on, it's basically the same length, but I don't think I've got any choice. There you go, so that's that one. And now I'm going to do exactly the same on the other side. So, plenty of glue, I'm going to bring it right over this side this time, like so. And then we're going to put music paper down this side. Like so. I'm going to put this one on this bottom corner, but I'm overhanging it slightly. So I'm going to go about that much, like that. This music paper that I've got torn is going to go up that side, like so. This is going to overlap there, but we need a bit off, like that. That is going to go there, like that. And then we need a bit of something else. So we've got this one, which can come there, just a little bit lower, so we haven't got that straight line going on. And then we need a little piece for here. So let's just have a quick rummage back through my papers. Don't want more music paper because that's a bit too close, isn't it? We could actually use some of the shorthand paper, so that's got the actual shorthand on it, and then we can just click there. It's only there, like that. Okay, turn it over, trim it up, and that is our book cover all but complete. But I want a stamp on here to make this stand out even more. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look through my stamps and try and find something floral that works with that. And obviously, as always, I'm looking in the wrong place. So I'm just going to try and find... Right, I'm going to have to put you on pause. Okay, sorry about that. So, I found some florally stamps, and I'm obviously going to use that same archival blue. So I've got this lovely, we used to call them wether beds, dandelion, and this is like a daisy. I think they're going to work really well. And I've got a dragonfly there, which is very sort of fitting, isn't it, for the garden. So let's have a little stamp up. So I'm going to put this one on here like this. Make sure we get plenty of ink on it. Okay, I think it's got plenty of ink, and I feel like I need to test it because I don't want to put it on there and it doesn't work. So always test it if you're not sure, and of course that's going to work beautifully. I don't know why I bothered to test it, but anyway. And obviously you can use whatever stamps you've got if you're doing this. If you're just using standard cardstock, then obviously it's going to be decorated for you already, and you won't need to think about doing something like this. Oh, I love it. Look at that. It's beautiful. So we'll take that one off, set that to one side with its case. I'm useless at keeping things together, as you know. And then we've got this beautiful daisy one that's got cotton on it for some reason. So I'm going to pop that on there. Only just fits on the stamp. And again, I'm going to ink this up. I just think it's really nice when you've got stamping on book page. I just think it's awesome. It's a bit like that cutlery that I recently put onto the scanned vintage correspondence over my Ko-fi. Now this is another thing that you must consider. You know, lots of people have got Ko-fi shops and they offer all sorts of free papers in there. So don't forget. See, now I didn't test that one, and that one's not printed as well. Let that be a lesson to me. to test it. Anyway, you can still see the outline. It's fine. I can live with that. And then my beautiful dragonfly. Oh look, there's another little flower there. And this is where I can, if I'm not careful, get truly carried away. But I'm going to put him down there. Dragonfly. And then we are going to have this little one here. Whoops, not sticking. If they don't stick, just put a bit of water on the back. That'll help them stick. It's usually just because they've got all sorts of dirt collected. There we go, we've got another little flower down there. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Oh, and actually, look at that. There's another little one here. Let's have that one. And then I promise I'm going to stop. I promise I will stop. Right. And I put this one down in that corner like that. There you go. So they're underneath the big one. Put the lid on the ink. So, for our cover, I have used craft card through the embossing folder. I've inked it. I've then put fabric on top of that, and then I've gone over the paper with some book pages, and then I've just stamped because I think that makes it look really pretty. So that is the start of our little journal, and as you can see, that's going to give us about an inch spine, which is going to be awesome for our pages. I can't find the pages that I folded now. Goodness knows where they went. But anyway, I did pull the pages, didn't I? Have I already folded them? Yes, there you go. So, what we're going to do in here is we're going to go 1, 2, 3, separate, and that will be signature 1, 1, 2, 3, because we talked about 6, and that is going to be my second signature. And because I like odd numbers, we will be doing something to go down the middle there as well. So there you go. That is the start of our monthly journal for July. I hope you found some joy and inspiration. Those of you that are crafting along with me, have fun with it. Whatever else you do, make sure you have fun with it. And I will be back on Tuesday for part 2. Stay safe. I'll see you very soon.